Orange Life, a company in Brazil dedicated to developing rapid diagnostic tests for neglected diseases, and he'll tell you all about that. Some of the diseases include dengue, malaria, leprosy, Chagas, many of the diseases that people in this room are working on, so I know this will be of great interest to you. And Marco actually just came from the Gates Foundation, where he was working with them to try to bring some of these technologies into the field, into Brazil and other developing countries. And this is a sign of a truly dedicated person when he misses Carnival in Rio to be here with us. So it's really our pleasure to have him here, and I hope that many of you will identify areas where we could see yourself connecting with him and collaborating. And yeah, please join me in welcoming him.
Thank you very much for that presentation, Anna. And thank you to all of you to invite me to the university. And it's I would like really to talk with you something before, because I think this is amazing that in Brazil we have lots of neglected diseases, and you don't have these neglected diseases here in USA, but you lose your time, you spend your effort, your energy to work on something that probably will save lives in my country. So I would like to really thank you for that. And for that reason we should join energies, and for that reason I'm very happy to stay here to show you what we are working on, and maybe we can work together. Okay? So Orange Life, the name is because I like orange color, and you have orange team here from the university, so it's a color that make me happy, and we must be happy when we work, right? And we are considered in Brazil the only innovative company in diagnostic. This doesn't mean a lot, because in Brazil there are not many companies in diagnostics, especially in innovation sector. But it's important because we are starting something new in Brazil. And Orange Life is in Rio de Janeiro. And as I told you, they say that we are an innovation company, but it's very important for me to explain what is innovation for us. Because what is innovation for me, maybe is not innovation for Anna. Maybe it's something that doesn't make sense for you. It's not so innovative. So what is innovation that will save lives for us? First, innovation doesn't start for me in companies, but start with people having fun and loving what they are doing. Orange, having fun. Okay? Do you see the slide from there? Ah, okay, there is another. Perfect. In the US it's different. So, I promise to you, this is the real phrase that the Bright brothers said when they had fun. They were not thinking to build the United American Airlines. They were thinking to have fun. And the same thing when two little boys, they decided to put some glue in the ski just to have fun, maybe to drop down in the snow. But they invented the snowboard. I'm sure that you are very young, but who is older like me, remember the first email I received. I didn't think, my God, here there is a mine of gold, billions of dollars of market in this. I said just, fantastic. I received an email from the other side of the world. And this guy, and this little guy also, he wanted to create a language for micros, just because he didn't want to study at the university. So with his buddy, he started to have fun with that, not thinking about Microsoft. But another important thing is that innovation must be accessible, because especially in our field,
if we make an innovation and we not guarantee that everybody can access to that innovation, means that we didn't achieve what we want. So, for example, 20 years ago, I was sure that we would have thousands of miles around the world of maglev. But now you see that maglev, there are just few hundreds of miles in Japan, because we have thousands of miles of TGV, that is the fast train in Europe, in Italy, in France, or around the world. Why? Because it's cost effective. Because the speed is almost the same on the maglev. So this is an innovation that is cost effective and it's accessible. We thought that one day we would fly Seattle, New York in 1 hour, 2 hours. But the innovation didn't bring us to that. The innovation brought us to maybe to delay more, but to have more options of comfort. I remember this cult movie, who saw this cult movie, Odyssey 2001 and so on. There was a huge computer talking with a human being. And I was thinking that, everybody was thinking that one day would exist a fantastic, smart, intelligent computer talking with everybody. But what's happened? Happened that we talk every day with the very small computers, but all connected in a huge global net. So I all the time compare the smartphone to a black hole. Because a black hole absorbs everything around. And the smartphone also started to absorb everything was around. All the needs we have around. We started with telephone calls, but then we absorbed many other functions. And what about health? What about health? This is an article from of December 1st, 2012 of The Economist, saying that the needs in the health, public and private health, are increasing. But the doctors and the money for that are not increasing the same way. So we need to fix the problems, or to invent some tools to fix the problems on the field. And for that reason, there are so many companies right now, including mine, they are working on smartphone application for health. And this is the dream, you know, the famous tricorder from Dr. Spock. You pass close and you make a diagnosis of everything. Orange Life is close to this, and I show you why. We base it on a very robust technology that probably many people know it. It's a lateral flow. It's called a lateral flow. This is a plastic cassette. Inside there is a strip with the membrane. It's like a paper. You put a drop of blood in the hole there, some drops of buffer, and then the reaction run into the paper, and you will have a positive or negative result. Negative result, you will see just one band, one line, that is the control line. And if the sample of blood is positive to that disease, you will see another line, the second line. That means that is positive. Hi, how are you? There is some pizza there. And the second line says that you are positive. So what we did, this is not recent. I mean, this is a technology 1970. For that reason I say it's robust, because we had lots of time to fix it and to make it very good. This is so good as ELISA test, for example. So we joined this robust technology to the intelligence of the smartphone. And we created the smart reader. Why we did that? Because I have many years of experience of rapid tests. I made all the technology transfers with the government, Brazilian government, of rapid tests. Today we have millions of rapid tests, HIV running every day, every year, millions every year in Brazil. And Brazil is very famous for the program against HIV in the world. So, but where are there is a big problem running a test today. And this is one of them. Huh. Now the question. What's your name?
Hi, Karen.
Carrie? Carrie. Based on what I told you, let's see if you paid attention. Based on what I told you, there are two lines here, right?
Yes.
So it is
It's positives to my.
good.
Yes.
Very good. And what about here?
From here, it looks like it'd be negative.
Good also. Looks like negative. But if you have a smart reader with you, it's positive. So think about how many people they can watch that, see the test. It's not because you see very well, but the line was very weak, very weak. But even very weak, it's a positive test. So think about how many people they are coming back home happy because they think they are negative and they are infecting other people. We are talking about HIV now, but we can talk about other diseases. Just because in 2013 we still have millions and millions of tests in the field, they're just watched by the watcher. The watcher? The watcher. I mean, the watcher can be like me. I see very well in this eye, less in this one. I need maybe glasses. I forgot the glasses that day. Maybe it's dark. I don't see very well. So, I mean, we must patronize the reading of the test. Okay? But we wanted to go forward. We wanted to break some barriers. And what is the barriers? For that reason, I'm a medical doctor, and I saw that barrier all the time. That when you have a blood test, if the blood tests say that you are negative, you believe. Say that you are positive, you believe. But sometimes you are negative, but you have still the symptoms. So no test is 100%. No one is 100%. What do you do with the patient that still have symptoms, but the serological tests say that it's negative? So this was a big problem for me, and especially for these diseases, malaria, dengue, leprosy, tuberculosis, and there are others. They have all of them in common, determinant symptoms that we cannot forget. And we included a checklist of symptoms in our smart reader. So, for example, this is dengue. We are already running this in Brazil. Okay, we are going to start. I'm going back to Rio de Janeiro and fly to Brasilia. We have a meeting to decide which states we are going to start this. And for example, when you have a patient, you first ask some basic questions, a checklist of symptoms: headache, fever, muscle pain, a rash, severe pain behind the eye, joint pain. These are classic symptoms of dengue. If you have 3 positive, you just touch the touch screen and you have 3 positive symptoms. We generate a score together with the test results. So in this case, 3 symptoms plus a clear positive result. We have, of course, 90% positive for dengue, 99%. This was an old slide, so it's just an example. But let's think that for one moment, our test is a bad test. Okay, or in that day it didn't work. this is negative. Could you, Anna, send back your patient at home with 3 symptoms like those, fever plus 2 symptoms, say, don't worry, you don't have dengue just because the test NS1 was negative? No. Even the smart reader cannot say that. So the smart reader will say, for example, this patient is 60% positive. So take care. Let's test him again after 1 hour, after 2 hours, tomorrow. But let's control him. We must keep an eye on him. Okay? And we wanted to fix another problem. In Africa, for example, we have millions of tests. Oh my God. What did I do? I thought it was the pointer. It's not the pointer, it's the destroyer. So there are millions of tests that we run in Africa, for example. Then we write on the paper the result, and then somebody else type on the computer the results, and the results go to a data bank. We know this process. For sure, we lose something, we lose information, or anyway, we just spend lots of energy for nothing. So, what we did, we have our smart readers on the field, and we generate the orange cloud with the reports and the data bank. And what do we have in our data bank for each patient? We have, do you read well from there?
You can hit the light if you want.
Yeah. This one?
Yep. Much better.
Good. So we have the test result, the GPS position, we have the ID of the patient, including the time, the day when the test has been done, the intensity of the band. This is very important, it's semi-quantitative value. And the anamnesis, the checklist of the symptoms. So we have also a picture that is approved, because that test, if for example, you test somebody for HIV, and then he come back the day after with his lawyer and say, I want to see the test that you told me I'm positive, you are a liar. And you pick up from somewhere the test you run, maybe it's negative, because the test you can read only in the first hour. You can have also seroconversion, so it doesn't work anymore. And this is the picture that is very important you save in your data bank, and the final score of the infection. And then, for example, Anna from Ecuador, in the morning she opened her laptop and she wants to see what is happening in Rio de Janeiro with the epidemic of dengue, because she's worried for the World Cup. And in a few seconds, she just clicked with a very friendly page where you can ask for, you want to know the positive, or you want to know the city, or you want to know exactly that smart reader what they detected, and you know all the information in real time, without people writing and taping and losing lots of time. This is technology that already exists. We are not inventing a satellite. It's simple. And what else we can do? We can see in real time where the epidemic are starting. So we don't have a vaccine because Mark is working on it, but till then we can also go immediately when in the place where the epidemic is starting, kill the mosquitoes there, making an isolation of that place and treat the people there, and you can stop the epidemic. Because if you don't do that in real time, all this map that is Rio de Janeiro state will become red. So you don't have anything more to do. We made some evaluation of the field, because in the theory everything works. It's incredible. In the theory, on the paper, everything is perfect. And on the field, you have the problems. But fortunately, the theory this time matched. So we worked on leprosy, malaria, and dengue. These are 208 samples confirmed by other diagnostic systems, 158 positive and 50 negative. And we run all this, our test, just the test on the left, the test plus the smart reader just to read the results. And then the test, the smart reader, and the symptom checklist. Okay? In leprosy, I don't know if you know, I'm sure you know something about leprosy, probably more than me, but in leprosy you have paucibacillar and multibacillar. Multibacillar you have lots of bacillum, and paucibacillar you have few bacillum. So the few bacillum one, it's very difficult to detect. You don't have antibodies. The multibacillar you produce antibodies, but the paucibacillar is very few antibodies. You don't find them. But you have some lesion, important lesion, that it's a spot. Can be white, can be red. And normally we say more than 5 spots is multibacillar, less than 5 spots is paucibacillar. But there are other symptoms also that we included in our checklist. So what's happened? Happened that reading just the test, we got 86% positive. That is very good for a rapid test because it means that we got almost the multibacillar and we didn't get any paucibacillar. With the reader, with the digital reader, with the intelligence of the smart reader, we increased the number, 93%. Means that we got all the multibacillar, but still now we don't get any paucibacillar. But when we included the symptoms, look at that, 97%. This is the best test in the world. This is the best tool human beings have now to detect leprosy in 10 minutes. Okay? And these are the symptoms we included. Something so easy, so simple for paucibacillar leprosy and for multibacillar leprosy. Then we did the same things with malaria. I know that here there is group of malaria and dengue, very strong group, so you can confirm for me that. We did the same thing with a smaller number because we don't have lots of malaria in Brazil, just in the north, Vivax, but we try to find the samples because it's very difficult. And then we run just 81 samples, but even like that we got 86% of sensitivity, that it's honest sensitivity for the test. I know that you receive from Korea, from India, from China, the insert 100% sensitivity, 100% specificity. But I can do that also with 10 good samples from a panel. But this is, we are talking of field. This is on the field. And 86% for a rapid test is a good percent. But then with the reader, 93%. And with the symptoms, 96%, 96.5. Means the symptoms are very generic, but even like that, are very important to detect the malaria. So fever, chills, headache, sweats, fatigue, nausea, and vomit. And we did finally with the dengue. And with the dengue, we got incredible results. With the checklist of symptoms, we achieved 99%. This means that, I promise to you, you don't read this on your newspapers. But when I read on my newspaper, in my house, I open the newspaper to have my espresso. I like coffee. And I read, child 3 years old, the same age of my daughter, dies because of dengue, hemorrhagic dengue, because people thought that it was infection pulmonary infection or flu or something like that, you feel very, very bad. You feel very, very bad, because if you have this on the field, this system on the field, you save that little child life.